What's going on, everyone? I'm joined by the one and only Max Ruback from Common Ground Finds. He's literally walking around his warehouse. And the last time I remember, you were just at your house with a bunch of rare old books in the background. What's going on, man?
Yeah, this is not my warehouse. This is a warehouse of a company I do a lot of consulting for,
Oh,
and I have a partnership with. So you caught me on a Saturday morning.
I know.
You
You're
caught me on
supposed
a
to be on.
Saturday morning,
You're in Florida. You're supposed to be on the beach enjoying the weather, but nope, you're deep in the books.
and yet today it's Joji. It's raining, so
Oh, okay.
there's no better place to be than Gaylords of books and opportunity, right?
Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys, we just want to basically show you what the background of he's not really a bulk bookseller, but this is what a bulk bookseller's background will look like. And I'm
Yeah,
sure you're helping them find the rare books in those gateways.
we are doing that as well amongst a thousand other things.
Awesome. All right, guys, we'll see you back here in a second. All right, everybody, we're back here together. And if you guys don't know who Max is, I interviewed him on my channel 8 months ago. So almost a year has passed since we last talked. And I'm sure a lot of things have changed in your business. So can you start with starting from 8 months ago? What has changed? Any major life changes? Any major changes in your actual book business? What's going on?
I'll say this, ultimately, that there's nothing better than being in the book business in 2024. I would
Uh-huh.
even I would even say going back to 2023, it's a phenomenal business to be able to sell secondhand books. My business has probably grown 15 to 25% since when I talked about high school teaching
That's
and
awesome.
books and doing what we used to do. It's just been nonstop. The business has grown. I also have a YouTube channel now called
Pretty
papergold.podcast,
good. Okay.
papergold.podcast, with
Okay.
my partner Cody. I'm more the eBay end of it. Cody's more the Amazon end of it. But,
Awesome.
but together, we're trying to give people the opportunity to understand books is a key to financial freedom. It
It
really
absolutely is. Yeah. One of the things we connected with was the fact that you were a teacher.
I was a school teacher 18 years, girls basketball coach,
I
15
know.
years, and books was always there in the back of my life. I In the 90s, I did work at an antiquarian bookstore, and I
Yep.
was learning the business before eBay, before Amazon. I did not realize the gift that experience was. Everything I do now, from this conversation to selling books on eBay or selling books on whatnot, is a direct result from working in that bookstore for a decade in the 90s before all hell broke loose on the internet.
It is amazing. I mean, books have helped me reach or getting close to reach financial freedom because I told you, Max, behind the scenes that this is gonna be my last year teaching. So because of books.
No, I'm proud of you on that.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you. I,
Yeah.
I even advised you of that probably a
You
year
did.
ago. I said, get out now.
Yeah.
It's not going to get any better. You see what's going on across this country with teachers and teacher strikes, and
Yep.
I don't know what it's like in California, and I don't want to talk too
Yep.
much about this, but in Florida they can't even find substitute teachers.
Yeah. It's incredible. It's something that a lot of people should really strongly consider selling books. There's, I think, a reason why there have been a ton of people who've been able to leave their job with books. There's tons of margin. There's also tons of niches, right? I'm in my own complete different niche than Max. Max is in his own complete different niche, and there's multiple other different types of ways that you can sell books, and we can all be
And
so
even better than that is the diversity of platforms right now.
right.
Not just eBay and Amazon like it used to be.
Yeah,
It's now Whatnot. It's now
yeah.
now Macquarie.
Can you tell me about Whatnot? Because I know Whatnot is a place that people sell like clothing or video games. I didn't actually expect that you could sell books on Whatnot. So tell me about that.
Wow. This is gonna blow your mind a little bit, Joji. I've been doing Whatnot for about a year.
Okay.
My friend Katie Reed sort
Yep.
of gently pushed me into it,
Okay.
because as you know, and a lot of people know, I am not a technologically sound person. I I'm grounded all day, but
Yeah.
I grit my teeth and my veins thicken with blood on my arms when I have to deal with it. But Katie Reed slowly pushed me into it. I'm doing 5 shows this week, all
Oh.
all different formats of books.
Okay.
And, and on this past Wednesday,
Uh,
I I did an hour-long show just in Christian literature books.
wow, that's crazy.
today at 3 o'clock Eastern, I'm doing a show on heavy metal music from the 80s and 90s.
That's incredible. That's
And,
so awesome.
and Mondays is my antiquarian show.
Okay.
And, I'm a confident person. I'm humbly confident, but
All
I'm
right.
not afraid to share numbers. I did a whatnot show
Okay.
about 2 or 3 weeks ago on a Monday. It was purely an antiquarian show.
Okay.
It was 20 books, and I did just over $1,900 in 75 minutes.
Wow, that's insane. That's
And
incredible.
and this is all whatnot. This is all, I don't want to be too controversial here, but this is the beauty of being a bookseller now is there's so many platforms.
Absolutely.
And I know there's a lot of people unhappy with Amazon fees, and I know there's a lot of people unhappy with eBay and their lack of concern for sellers over buyers. And Whatnot has been a beautiful gift in my life where,
Unbelievable.
where I'm now thinking of Whatnot, 5 days a week, five different types of shows, and sort of being a pioneer to getting the book audience that's out there in the world, funneling them into Whatnot with different categories. So yeah, it's not just clothes, it's not just video games. What amazes me, Joji, is when you wake up in the morning in California time, I'm East Coast time, but when you wake up in California time, if you click right on Whatnot, there's 40 live shows going on.
That's crazy. Yeah,
Baseball cards, romance books, watches, video games, computer supplies.
that's crazy.
I've said this in my paper gold group. I've said this many times, but Whatnot is definitely a force to be reckoned with. And I also think it's probably going to be the future or a glimpse of the future of how reselling is done because how many Amazon books do you send the FBA
Uh-huh.
that sit on the shelves and you're like, why hasn't this sold already?
Yeah, there's quite a few of them. Definitely
So,
quite a few of them.
and then multiply that by tens of thousands of other sellers out there. And I'm not, I mean, Whatnot doesn't pay me. I'm
Yeah.
happy with the platform,
Although I think I'm sure you have a code or something, right? You get like for $15 off your first if you sign up like that.
people join through my
We'll put his link down below.
my link on my link tree. I think
Yeah.
Katie called it a link tree. I think they get $10 or $15 for free to spend,
Yeah,
and
that's awesome.
I get $5 to spend.
Yeah.
It's not direct money to me. I have to spend it on the channel.
Yeah.
So it's like a little bit of a bank account to buy things with.
So many so many thoughts have come up from this discussion of Whatnot. The first one is it almost feels like it's bringing the auctioneer style to the modern everyday person. Like, I mean, how would you how would you compare like an auctioneer to you being someone on Whatnot, like trying to share your books?
Yeah, I'm not about to sell a $10,000 book on Whatnot,
Right.
but I can tell you this that I sold an $800 book on Whatnot a couple weeks ago. Uh,
Wow.
and payment is instant.
That's crazy.
There's no returns, and
Okay.
you know you can do a show for an hour or two, and you can make a few $100s. And you and I, as former teachers, or you nearly a former teacher,
Yeah.
you know how much we made a day. I
Yeah,
mean,
absolutely.
I was making $125 a day
Yeah.
as a high school teacher, and then after school, going to coach basketball for a few more hours. Or
Yeah.
if it was game night, I'd get home at 11 o'clock, and I got paid, pennies.
Pennies on the dollar. Pennies on the dollar. Well
I
below minimum wage. I
when I
know. I coach baseball too. Yeah.
and what I told you a year ago is, I remember the conversation. I just said, you're going to look back if you don't get out and follow your passion of what we're talking about now. And so I'm excited that you got out. And I hope that I hope, because you and I both love teaching, but I hope
Right.
that other teachers who are frustrated get to glimpse this conversation between you and I,
Absolutely.
and maybe plant the seed and show them you don't have to be a reader to sell books.
Right.
You don't have to know about old books. You don't have to know about barcode books. These are mental tools you can learn
Right.
to facilitate a business. And while I was still teaching, my last 3 or 4 years teaching, I was doing this as a side hustle.
Right.
And it is the exact side hustle that turned into my full-time profession now. And,
Amazing.
like you smiling at me right now.
Yep.
I wake up smiling every day, knowing I'm going to talk to book people, deal with books, and sell books across the world. Across the world.
That's incredible. Yeah, I've got literally 29 teaching days left. So it's coming down soon. And like you mentioned, this was a side hustle. I mean, literally last 6 years, but now it has turned into full-time income. Last year, Max was the first year I made more money flipping books than I made teaching, which is incredible.
I think we need to put some parentheses around that comment right there because that's this is not a guru course you and I are talking about.
Yeah.
This is going to thrift stores. This is going to the bins. This is going to garage sales. This is going to estate sales,
Right.
and this is learning about books. And in the Paper Gold Patreon channel that I have called Paper Gold, an ongoing book hunters conversation, we have just under 100 people globally in that group.
Oh, that's
We have
great.
we have some wonderful people all the way in Australia, in England. I have a young man from Tel Aviv, Israel.
Wow.
That each one of those people is selling books in their marketplaces in their countries, and we meet every Thursday night on a Zoom call, and I
Right.
give them hacks. We talk about the growth of business. We talk about the issues, both logistical and emotional, but growing their business to give them financial freedom. And in California, I mean, in our Discord, we had to make our own hashtag for California because we had so many California people in the group.
Wow, that's awesome.
We had to make a California hashtag for all those resellers.
Absolutely. So guys, Paper Gold Podcast. That's the full YouTube channel name?
Papergold.podcast is the
Uh-huh.
YouTube channel. Paper Gold, an ongoing book hunters conversation, is the
Okay.
is the Patreon channel. We're just under 100. We're just under 100 members, and
Okay.
so I'm trying to help as many people as I can. I want to give back to people who are frustrated.
Yep.
They feel that life is not the way they want it to be, and you know this, and you can back me up on this, and our friends,
Absolutely.
people like Avery, can back us up. But books are a way out, 100% a way out.
Absolutely. And the great thing, like you mentioned, is we were both teachers and we have a love for teaching. We're both still teaching, just in a different way.
Yep.
And the best thing, Max, for me is that the teaching I get to do now is to people who want to be there, who are paying attention, asking good questions, which is, as you know, unfortunately not always the case when you teach high school. So,
Yeah, I mean, I taught seniors mostly, so they
okay.
most of them were checked out well before they were looking at their real life approaching. But no, I'm still a little bit of a teacher and I'm still a coach. I mean, I go in those Zoom calls and I'm not afraid to be truthful and honest and make them better as booksellers. And
Mm,
I feel like I'm giving them hacks all the time and things that I do where they don't have to wait 5 years to learn through the mistakes. I can just
right.
cut through my mistakes and hand them the hacks on a silver platter. So
Absolutely.
what I want to share one with your audience today.
Let's do it. That'd
Yeah,
be
I just want to
amazing.
share one because I just want everyone to know one thing that I do is out of let's say 10 orders,
Uh-huh.
uh, out of 6 or 7 of those 10 orders, I will message back that person who bought a book from me,
Okay.
and I will ask them nicely why they chose that book and what other books they may be buying
Oh,
on
okay.
the internet. So I'm trying to develop a conversation with them and make them repeat customers.
Yeah.
What I want to stay away from is I don't want people to think it's just a business where you scan a barcode or you research a book with a non-barcode, you
Right.
list it, sell it, and that's the end of the business. No, the
Right.
business is to make repeat customers. So one hack we always talk about is spending people who buy from you a response question and then give them a 10% or a 15% coupon for their
Oh,
next
cool.
purchase. And oftentimes, and you'll see this in our Paper Gold Patreon group in the Discord, people are selling a book right after they sell a book once they send that coupon code to that customer. So
Huge.
they pick another one, we combine shipping, and away we go.
Yeah, it's all these little hacks and all these small things, right? Small percentages add up to large compounding results. And these are things like you mentioned, you learn over time. Similar to me, like I do online book arbitrage, it's a little bit different, but I made so many mistakes over the years. And my goal really has been to, like Max says, give you the best that I know on a silver platter. And I'm sure you're finding a lot of success with, or your students are finding a lot of success. So I'm really curious to go check out that podcast because I was actually trying to find your YouTube channel. I was like, what would it be called? I was trying to put Common Ground Finds in, but of course you'd call it,
What?
paper gold. I remember you saying that in our previous interview, paper gold.
Yeah, I've been using that term for a long time. I used to, for a brief time, I did a newsletter for booksellers, and
Okay.
it was called Paper Gold, and that's where I sort of borrowed it from.
Good question. All right. In our last interview, you specifically talked about, let's say, if you wanted to get into or learn more about old antique books, just go to eBay, type in a generic term book,
Yeah.
just sort by what just sold with a certain price, maybe above a couple $100s, and just look at that every single day for, 3 months, 6 months, or a year. What would you say would be like the best way for someone to actually start like actually sourcing those types of books? So you got an idea about, okay, what might be valuable? What would be your best tip for, okay, what's a good starting place?
Yeah. One of the great things about what I do and what I teach is you do not need a lot of money to invest in
Okay.
in the eBay side of things. Now, if we were talking strictly Amazon, there's software you have to buy,
Right.
uh, uh, you know, there's scanners you have to buy and reprice programs. So there's a little bit of money still on Amazon, which is not a negative, but if you focus on the eBay market to learn the book trade,
Right.
you'll still see people selling barcode books when you click on that sold tab. You'll see, and I think going to garage sales and estate sales has
Right.
all how has always yielded me the greatest fortunes. Uh,
Okay.
Estate sales have been very kind to me in my full time profession. You can go on estatesales.net, I believe it is.
Okay.
Type in your zip code,
Okay.
and all of the estate sales coming up in your zip code will be there. Those estate sale companies have 25, 50, 200 pictures of what's
Okay.
inside the house. And what people do for me and for them is they'll take screenshots of the bookshelves. They'll send me the screenshots from the website and they'll say, Max, help me. Which are the good books here? Should I go to this one? And I'll scan the shelves for them. I'll point in the direction of which are the money books. But I'm also all about buying in bulk. So I'm not
Right.
we have we always talk about buying in bulk because that's where you make the kind of money
Right.
here for a year or two in books.
Right. Absolutely.
We have a young man from St. Louis in our group who never sold books before,
Okay.
and he contacted me and he did what we advised. He made a business card. He handed it out. He went to bookstores. He put a ad on Facebook Marketplace.
Right.
Within 30 days of never selling a book, he did a free pickup.
Okay.
And he ended up having a first edition Ernest Hemingway, The Sun Also Rises. And within 30 days of never selling a book before, he sold that book for just under $2,000. So
That's
if
incredible.
people don't think books are life changers, what would a $2,000 book mean to you once you send it out and got paid for it via eBay?
Yeah, that's incredible. I mean, the amazing thing is that a lot of people don't really value, I mean, the thing is, people don't value books in a number of ways, right? A lot of times people don't even read the books because books have so much value in them from the person who decided to put all their life experience and throw it in a book, right? If you're talking about nonfiction book. But then, yeah, these are books that a lot of people just end up discarding. You mentioned that a lot of the books that you find from people you work or sign with, they're finding these in Gaylords and they're like, without you, might just be tossing in the trash. So,
Every day they're still being tossed in the trash because you can't find everything.
right,
But on our Discord, we have on our daily Discord, we have a section where it says $100 sales, $200 sales, 500 and 1,000.
oh, that's great.
That's for our members. So they post when they sell a book in that number range, they post
Yeah,
that book on the Discord. But what that really does, I mean, it's not meant to be a show off.
yeah,
It's meant to be an accomplishment.
yeah,
And for those other members who are not selling that type of book yet, they now see what a $500 book looks like. They see
right,
what $100 book looks like. What subject matter is this? What ornithology? They start asking themselves the question of learning, which is the education and the journey of learning the book trade.
yeah, absolutely. Great. One question I have for you, if people, let's say, who are out there right now are in the book business game, which is probably not too many people on my channel because, I do online book arbitrage. So we have more of those people sitting at a desktop, like looking at Kiva Grass, trying to find undervalued books. But let's say someone did want to consign with you. I mean, is it just a website, Comic Con Finds? I mean, what would be the best way for someone who does get their hands on a lot of older books?
Yeah, just contact me via Instagram.
Okay.
Uh, I try to reply to everybody within 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So sometimes people get shocked. I'll just hit the camera. If they
Yeah.
ask me a question, I'll just hit the camera, and then they're like, "I can't believe you just videoed me." I mean,
Yeah.
I try to make them feel
Right.
like, I'm a person that they can talk to.
Yeah.
I'm available. I'm busy, but I'm available, and I'll always
Right.
answer questions. I just had 2 pallets come in from California,
Sheesh.
and it's the greatest collection of jazz and blues and country books and magazines going back to the '50s, and Joji, all of those were sitting in a Gaylord.
That's crazy. That's unbelievable. Yeah, literally paper gold.
Yeah,
It's just
that's why we call it paper gold.
it's incredible. I mean, every time I talk with you, I just get so excited because I'm like, "Oh, man." The one thing that I actually really did love about going to garage sales is the thrill of the hunt, right? And in this case, it's like you get me so excited because I mean, it literally is paper gold. And the thing is, it's in plain sight, but it requires a bunch of knowledge, right, to be able to look at and know, okay, this book is worth something. But we all know that anything in life requires it's just a learning process. It takes mistakes, it takes repetition, more importantly, right? How long do you think it would actually take someone who's like, you know what, I'm hearing this, Max. I want to quit my job. I'm gonna grind this out 4 or 5 hours a day. How long is it gonna take them to actually say, I can replace my income, I
Yeah.
can leave?
I wouldn't quit the job until we do it as a side hustle and learn that we like to do it.
Yeah.
It is a business. Like you just said, the journey and the hunt is so exciting every day.
Hmm.
If you love hunting and looking for things, then this is your business because
Yeah.
every day it's a hunt. And I would say most days, based on the paper gold members we have, people are winning every day.
Yeah.
I wouldn't quit a job until you know you can replace your salary.
Right.
When I wanted to get out of teaching, I gave myself a 2 or 3 year window to build my side hustle
Right.
into a full-time living. And it took me a couple years. What I did financially is I said to my first goal ever was, how do I make $100 a day on eBay?
There you go.
That was my first goal.
Yep.
Once I learned what it took inventory wise, once I saw what it took time wise, and I
Right.
started achieving that, then I said, okay, I'm doing $100 a day. Is $250 a day possible?
Right.
And sure as hell it was.
Yeah.
And so that goal, as a coach, I was a very tough coach, and I loved to win, and
Yeah.
that's who I was. And I've taken that into the book trade. And so goal setting for me is a way of winning. And so
Right.
I did 250, then I said 400, and then 500. And when I got over 500 a day, again, I was making $125 a day as a teacher. Now I'm going home shipping $500 a day worth of books. And
Right.
then I said, okay, we're getting close. We're
Yeah.
getting, and then, I was also teaching 18 years. So I got an 18-year pension out of that. So the school
Nice.
board is still paying me
That's cool.
every month not to teach. So thank you, Broward County School Board. Uh,
Yeah.
so I feel very blessed and very grateful, but that's the reason why I want to give back. That's the reason why I love to do interviews and
Yeah.
reach new people and audiences. In my Paper Gold Patreon group, I'm only charging $20 a month.
Yeah.
It-
Yeah.
It's like 65 cents a day. It's
Yeah.
not about the money. I have to do something. I have to
Yeah.
charge something. So it's $20 a month, and it's unlimited daily access with a Zoom call on Thursday nights. And it is just the most
Guys, you heard it.
supportive group of people I know.
The value in here is insane. All you guys gotta do is sell a first edition Hemingway, and then you paid for you got multiple year subscription there, right?
Well, it's also, you don't have to sell that $1,000 book out of the gate. I mean, there are plenty of people we have in the group that are making $100 a day, $200 a day, $300 a day, and more. and all they're doing is learning how to grow their business. So
What I'll say is what I love about your model is I think of all the different book models out there, it's the one that people sleep on the most, and it's the one that people think like, well, what are you doing at
right,
non-barcode? You're wasting your time." Which means that there's incredible opportunity because if, 9 out of 10 people going to a thrift store or trying to scan books are just looking at barcode books and don't know anything about, a book's history, whether that's old or antique, and it could be valuable to somebody out there, then it's essentially like you have very little competition, right?
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
which
One thing I always say is the books are money.
yeah,
Money is just disguised as books,
yeah,
and, and you just have to go find the right ones.
yeah,
But it is so plentiful. I mean, from the video that you shot of me with in the warehouse, I mean,
yeah,
that's 30 gaylords of books,
yeah,
and money is being pulled from those gaylords daily.
right.
And because everybody has books in their home, and sadly, people die, and those books have to go somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. And oftentimes the people who have to deal with them, don't appreciate them in the same way. They have and also have no education about how valuable they potentially could be. You have someone who poured their entire life, 40, 50, 60 years, right, into collecting. Now where
Well,
does it go?
it's funny you say that. I just pulled a collection from Miami, Florida. People can check my Instagram on this. And it was 360 boxes of books in a
Gosh,
10 by 15 warehouse. And the person had passed away, and the relatives, the family just didn't want to pay the $600 a month. And
right.
so they said, come get them. And that's the business. You're gonna get your hands dirty in this business. You are gonna be a hunter, you're gonna be an explorer, you're gonna make mistakes along the way, but I can guarantee anybody who has an itch to do this, you're gonna win every day. Every day you're gonna win somehow.
One tip that I have for everyone out there as well, and I can only speak from my own experience, is that starting a YouTube channel actually completely changed everything for me. I went from just, selling $50,000, $80,000 worth of books on Amazon to actually starting a YouTube channel, teaching people how to do it. And with that came incredible opportunity. And I mean, how much would you say, Max, that you having a public profile, going on Books and Bourbon, not that I'm a huge person, going on my channel, going on Mail from Back from Burnout, like how much of just being known actually helps your business?
Yeah, I mean, I do it because there's so many great stories to talk
Right.
about. So on the YouTube channel, I have a few different shows on it. I have
Yeah.
one show called Destination Unknown,
Okay.
where I interview a brick and mortar bookseller.
Cool.
And when I'm done interviewing them, the last question I ask them is, "You send me to your favorite bookstore." So I don't ever know where I'm going. And
That's so cool.
I just finished my sixth episode. I started in Pennsylvania, and
Wow.
I just finished an interview in Portland, Oregon, and I'm going to Oxnard, California this week on the show.
Oh, that's cool.
And I know sooner or later I'm going over the oceans.
Yeah.
So I never know where I'm going. So I do that show there.
That's
I
incredible.
also have a show called Deep Dive Excavation,
Okay.
where we interview Paper Gold members,
Okay. Cool.
one or two at a time, and we talk about their business. We focus deep diving in their business, and we help them on camera. And then we're gonna see them 6 months from now and do another show reporting on their progress of 6 months as they grow their businesses.
That's huge. Guys,
Then
you gotta get on this. You gotta get on this. I'm getting so hyped. I mean,
And I'm always I'm doing these red light. Whenever I get to a red light, I put the camera on. I talk about a little book hack called red light book information,
there we
and
go. That's
a
awesome.
short little 20-second flash of a book hack for people. And this is just all on the YouTube and on the Instagram.
That's incredible. I mean,
And I hate technology, Jojo.
and
I hate it, but in order for me to reach as many people as I want, Joji, I have to do it.
absolutely. Wow. I mean, I'm very successful with what I do, yet I'm over here going, man, this sounds so much fun. I want to do this, which is crazy.
I love it. I love
Yeah.
it.
So some things that I don't think I asked you last time, which I think are valuable and people would be interested in this because it's kind of more of an entry level question, but you're selling these rare antique books. What sort of material supplies and how In what way do you need to package them in a special way for them to be presented to the actual customer?
I mean, I ship in bubble mailers. I also ship
Okay.
in boxes. I mean, when I do Whatnot, most orders go in boxes because
Okay.
we're buying multiple books from me.
Right.
Uh, but I would say, I used to do $100 book would get a box. Now I'm really doing $50 books in boxes. Only because I'm selling a lot more of those types of books.
Okay.
Um, and I want the customer experience to be very special. Just like if you and I went to a restaurant and we ordered food and we looked at the plate being delivered to us with our eyes. I want the process of opening a box for me to
Right.
be an experience where, oh wow, Common Ground Finds really took their time to pack this book. So it
Right.
gets wrapped, it gets paper, it gets a nice brand new. I don't use used boxes. Um,
Right.
brand new boxes, and
Nice.
I want the experience
Wow.
to the customer because I want to grow repeat customers. My father ran an air conditioning business for 25 years down here, and he did a lot of installation of air conditioners as the suburbs were growing. But after he installed them, what his business became was the service of them, the
Okay.
re- the repeat customers,
Right.
servicing them when they broke. And so I've taken that philosophy of trying to make repeat customers into the book trade.
Yeah, and there's also a crossover to what I do, online book arbitrage. We call those replens, where I have plenty of books that I've sold 5 times, 7 times, 12 times, right? And these are books that I'm always looking at a certain price because I know that they move for 60 and you can often pick them up for 22, something along those lines right there.
All you gotta do is write it down on a little notepad, say, keep looking at the book. I mean,
Yeah,
we're smiling, we're enjoying this conversation, and people are probably gonna watch and go, but they make it sound so easy. And it
yeah,
is.
it's
You just have to install it into your life.
yeah, absolutely. Okay, next question for you. What are your thoughts, especially because these are older books, they're antique books, on actually repairing books? So, like, let's say you have a detached spine. Is it actually worth your time to try to figure out how to do that? Does that degrade the value of the book if you try to do that? What is your sort of expertise with needing to take these books? Yeah.
It does degrade the value. It does
Yeah.
degrade the value, but there's still a very formidable market out there. I don't want to be the person who spends money to repair the book. I
Right.
will I will sell it as detached cover,
Okay.
and I will sell it on Whatnot. I will sell it on eBay. And I've told this story before, and I'll just say it again. I may have even told you. I sold a book like this that had no covers.
Real. Oh, yeah. You did tell me that in our first interview.
Were gone.
Yeah.
But it was signed by a yogi who was doing a lecture at the University of Chicago in the 1930s, and I did some research on that signature, and I sold that book for just over $1,000. No spine, no covers. It was the information, and it was the signature of the book.
That's incredible. You talked a little bit about how you're now interviewing bookstore owners. I'm curious if you've ever heard of the YouTuber. He goes by the name of Phil, but he's the book peddler. I'm not sure if you've heard of him.
Joji, he was Destination Unknown #1 episode.
Was he? Okay, there you go. I'm clearly sleeping on your episodes here. In any case, does having interviewed these bookstore owners give you a little bit of an itch to potentially one day open up your own bookstore?
People ask me that all the time, because and you know this, I worked in the school system for all those years. I just love working from home.
Yeah,
I
great.
I love having to sip my coffee, sit in front of my computer, be in my surroundings. I'm not opposed to doing it, but it would have to be the right set of circumstances for me.
Right,
Uh, just because I was never home as a teacher and a coach. I was never home ever.
right,
And now I really see what I missed out from being home.
right. Yeah, one exciting thing is Phil, book peddler, very where he pretty much said that he would love to come to Las Vegas for the Books and Beyond Resellers Conference. So it's going to be an amazing time there. I know we've talked about extensively, me and you, but Mel's going to be coming back from burnout. Unfortunately, Katie Reeds can't make it anymore, but it's going to be a really awesome conference in Las Vegas. So I'm excited to meet Max if he is able to come, and if Max is able to come, guys. I mean, you can tell how much information that he has for you, and I would, if I were you guys out there, you guys and gals out there, and you run any sort of operation in your local area, I would selfishly make sure you cozy up to Max. Build a relationship because Max could easily be a pretty significant consigner for you, and he's got a lot of information for you.
I
So,
will also add that the dates of the conference do coincide with my birthday, so I expect some
ab-
drinks at the bar for that weekend.
absolutely, I'll be the first one. I'll pay for your first drink. Absolutely, yeah, that's gonna be so much fun. I'm so excited for that. Now, let's kind of transition a little bit over to my space, which is online book arbitrage, the process of buying an undervalued book on Amazon or on eBay for that matter, and then reselling it back on Amazon. Is there any opportunity in your niche, if somebody is really good at figuring out what the value of rare old antique books, to go on eBay and go, you know what? This guy, Max Ruback, he's selling this book for 200. That thing's actually worth 500. I'm going to buy it from him for 200, flip for 500. Is that possible?
Every day.
Really? That's
Matter
great.
matter of fact, on Whatnot, that's sort of what I specialize in on my Monday show. I
Okay.
have a lot of booksellers who follow me on that Whatnot,
Right.
and I'm putting up some very heavy hitters. I'm not afraid to let a $400 book go for 200. I'm so not afraid of it. I start the auction off at $5.
That's crazy because you also know it has incredible value. You know it's gonna at least get up to that amount anyways.
I do not need to be the last person to make the dollar on the book. I'm all about the community of booksellers,
Right.
and I sold a book last week that sold for I think $200, and it had a sold comp of 350. So
Uh-huh.
someone else will make some money from it, but
Yep.
I got the money that I needed, and selling books is a pleasure to me. You know
Yep.
I do not need to be the highest price seller. I want to be a bookseller,
Yeah.
and
Not a book collector. Yeah.
I don't I collect no books. Uh,
It's incredible.
I love to look at them. I love to
Yeah.
hold them and flip the pages, but I don't need to collect them. But Whatnot is a very good place where you can do flips. One thing that you could look for, Joji, is I mean, there are people, on Sundays I do a dollar sale. I sell 100 books and they started off at $1. And so there's a lot of money to be made as booksellers. So you do not have to leave your house
Right.
to get books. You can buy them from a dollar sale for me on a Sunday, and they'll be at your house on Tuesday or Wednesday. And now you can go list them and sell them on eBay or Amazon.
It's what's also incredible about Whatnot is if you are able to build a small following as well, even if you are not necessarily a book reseller, but if you're someone who enjoys books, I'm sure there's tons of super popular books out there that you are probably not worth really selling on eBay or Amazon because they're just so popular. There's so many of them. You could probably still monetize those on Whatnot through the fact that you have a little bit of a following and people like you and they're like, I'm going to buy this book that's very popular from Max because I love Max.
Yeah, I mean, there's 30, 40, 50 book shows a day on Whatnot throughout the day, and it's growing. It's not stopping anytime soon.
Right.
Whatnot has made listing a book very easy.
Yeah.
They've also mastered the art of printing out a label in a way that it's 2 clicks and it all comes out in one shot with a packing slip. Um,
Wow.
so they people who started Whatnot must have been resellers at one point
Yeah.
because they understand the frustrations of resellers, and they've curved that into a great platform.
Wow, that's incredible. Yeah, there's definitely gonna be some uses there. I've already got some ideas, even some ideas for my wife, whatnot. So
Well,
that's amazing.
I know that you and your partner, I think your partner more so was specializing in Christmas books at one time.
Yep, picture yeah, you go. Yep,
You can go on Whatnot and you can buy old Christmas books. People probably sell them weekly on Whatnot.
that's incredible. Wow, guys, there you go.
You'll find those flips very easily, whether it's barcode or non-barcode. But the flip business is alive and well. I'm proof of it. You are proof of it, and it's just reaching the masses.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we are getting to the end here, everyone. Max, as always, has been an incredible guest. I'm awestruck. I'm more excited than ever to go flip rare books, even though I know that that's not my lane, and I'm perfectly fine, successful. I'm able to leave my job doing what I do now, but it doesn't have the same level of like hunting or excitement as yours does. So everyone, make sure you guys go join Paper Gold Podcast, subscribe to his YouTube channel. I would really recommend spending $20 a month to join his Patreon if you are thinking about doing this full time because the amount of value that you're getting for what you're paying is insane. Like so much excess value for that. So I would say consider signing up for Patreon. What is a last few words or tips you have for people that really are a point in their life where, like, I'm not where I want to be. Is this possible for me? Can I do it? What's your
I'll make it easy, Joji. I'll make it easy. Just contact me. Just contact me. I'm not charging you for my time to talk to me.
That's awesome.
I will sit down. We will talk. I will advise you. And if
Yeah.
you join. If you don't, that's fine. But what I definitely want to have come across is this is me trying to give back to the community.
Right.
That was so good to me. I was
Right.
going to thrift stores before there was an eBay and Amazon just because I knew what good books were, and I would pick them off the shelves and hold them. And that's
Right.
how our business started once I got on the eBay. But
Yep.
if someone has the idea that this is something they want to do, just contact me through Instagram or through you, Joji, and you'll give them
Yeah.
my and
Absolutely.
I am more than willing. People contact me all day on Instagram.
Yep.
I sit down, we talk, and we formalize their plan. The latest member I got is all the way from Australia, and he already has a YouTube channel. He's already
Nice.
Graham, and he just saw value in what he saw on my show, and the fact that I can help someone 3,000 miles away on a different
Incredible.
continent. It fills me with pride and joy every day.
Absolutely. All right, guys, with that, we're going to end it. Everything that we just mentioned is going to be linked down below. Comic-Con Finds, also Paper Gold YouTube channel. And Max, we'll be doing this again. We're seeing you at the Books Beyond Resellers Conference in Las Vegas with a ton of awesome other people. I'm selfishly so excited just to have a beer with you. So anyways, that's it, guys.
Thank you,
Oh,
Joji.
absolutely, Max. All right, peace out.